Cutting cords is where you cut the connection, like spiritual. This is maybe the worst, but the best advice. Think of them and then 10 seconds later they call you. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome beautiful soul. I am here to help you expand your consciousness, keep you on a high vibration, to face your fears, face your shadows, and also you're gonna see in my life like my journey, because I'm going through a really tough spiritual awakening, Kundalini awakening, since I was 14 or 15 on almost 19 years old. So I'm gonna share my advice from my personal journey from moving on from a person and not being dependent on them, and to let them go, which is hard sometimes. It's depending on how much you have been through, how much you have actually learned from it, because you can have been through really much and then not learning from it, just keep repeating the cycle and not having the wisdom or support from yourself or others that you haven't learned from it. And that's okay. Sometimes it takes a lot of the same things to be bigger and bigger and bigger till you break down. I've tried that as well. But let's get into the video. So my first advice is to do what there is to be done. And what does that mean? To express yourself. And that can be like saying to the person directly or over messages, writing to them, calling them, telling them how you feel, but not out of dependency, not out of that you're desperate and want just some kind of result, like you want them to say something, you want something from them, but you're calling them or talking to them because you feel like you need to get this out of your chest and just express yourself to feel more honest about yourself and to get relieved and to maybe finish some things, but only of course if you feel safe doing that with that person, because maybe that person is a narcissist, who knows. But if you can do that, that is a really good thing to do, to say honest things, or to maybe write a song like I do sometimes, because I have a singing and acting channel, link in the description, and I also express a lot of vulnerable sides from me, like Heartbreak. Made many songs of that, and that helped a lot to see myself, to journal just in writing songs away. And you can do in many things. You can also write diary. Okay, it's diary. So if it's too scary to tell them directly, then you can express yourself through art or singing, acting, whatever you like to do, or talking to a friend about it. And number 2 is to write a letter to their higher self. And that might sound a bit weird for some of you guys if you haven't heard about that, but it's where you write a letter to them, how you feel, and maybe that you feel frustrated, sad, and you just want help from the higher self to get over them, or to just get some kind of closure. And then you can write it on some paper, and then you can set an intention afterwards. You have written all of it, that it will be sent to their higher self. And I've done that, and I really felt that I just got some help from their higher self, and that I got some kind of love and compassion, and I just felt so cared about in some kind of weird way. And it was actually night. I wrote it at night, and then when I went to bed next morning, I felt actually so much better. Number 3 is to really just this is maybe the worst, but the best advice, and that is to feel the emotions you have, like the heartbreak, the sadness, the frustration, the anger, whatever it might be, and just feeling it with no judgment, just feeling it in your body, but like trying to observe it, like when you're meditating, if you try that, just like seeing it as you're taking out of yourself, just looking at it, still feeling it, but just like seeing it as a feeling, and not that it defines you, but as a feeling. And just feel that, let it feel your whole body, and just cry or whatever there needs to be done, because if you suppress it, it will just bottle up and then it will explode in unhealthy ways, and that could be like beating someone or having a mental breakdown, whatever it might be that is unhealthy for you, drinking maybe, to suppress that. And number 4 is to cut cords. And this is also one of the best advice. Like, I think all of it was really good, but this is like what actually made me move on from them, from the next day, from the day to the next day. Is it called that? I think that. But it's actually really easy, and it's not like permanent when you cut cords. Cutting cords is where you cut the connection, like spiritual, like the energy, because you have a connection with like your friends, family, or girlfriend, boyfriend, and if you don't want a connection with them anymore, because when you have a connection you can send them telepathic messages, like example, if you think of them and then 10 seconds later they call you or they text you. I think you all have tried that, and that is really crazy when that happens sometimes, but that can be like too much when you're trying to get over that person, because maybe you're gonna receive some telepathic message from them. They don't have to be spiritual to send telepathic message to you. They can do it like unconsciously, and that can be like too overwhelming, because then you can't see if it's actually your feelings or it's their feelings, and it just gets too much, and you just want to get over this person, of course. So I think that's why you're watching this video. So, and you just imagine them standing in front of you, like closing your eyes maybe, if that's best for you, and then you maybe scissors, like you imagine your fingers being scissors, and then you imagine in front of you, feeling them, then doing like this, cutting the cord, the connection. And you can do it like, I do it like this, because then it's through all my chakras, like my crown chakra, where I receive like telepathic messages and all that. So I do it like all the way down, and then I say thank you for what you've taught me. And then I take my energy, no, not my energy, I take his energy that I got from him, and then I push it out of me, like with my hands, imagine it, and then putting it back to him where it belongs. And then I take my energy from him and like imagine taking it back to me. And then I say thank you again, and then I do like this. You don't have to do this, but then I just do like this, because then they're like gone, and say bye. And remember, it's not permanent. You can just create a connection with them again. It's not like you're never gonna have a connection with them again if you do it one time. It's not like that. So you can do that temporarily or forever, whatever you feel like. But having a connection, you need both ways. You cannot have a connection just one way. So yeah, if you cut the cord, it's not a connection. If they cut a cord, it's not a connection. So it's up to you both. Like, because it's go both ways. So yeah. Number 5 is to rewrite the story you're telling yourself, because sometimes we're telling ourselves a story why we should keep attached to this person or this situation, why we should not let go, why we should not move on from this person, and just why they are so like perfect, maybe putting them on a pedestal. And that is why it's so hard for people to let go of people they like maybe in love with or have a crush on. I think there's a difference between that. So but then if you rewrite your story, like telling yourself what you've learned from them and why you're letting them go, because they're not serving you anymore, or is it because they're not giving you what you need, if they're like toxic, and what are they giving you that you can't give yourself? And maybe you will say love, but you can give yourself love. You can give yourself love, and you can give yourself the affirmation that you're good enough. So write that down, what they give you that you can't give yourself. And when you've done that, then write how you can give yourself that. And that is maybe by meditating, or it's maybe by going to a cafe alone and just giving yourself some good things, good food, whatever you might feel like. And sometimes it can be hard to do kind things to yourself and like using money on yourself, but it's so good when you do it and you feel just so good. Sometimes it may feel like you don't deserve it, if you really feel like you have to do something to feel good enough, to be good enough, but like practicing it is so good. And advice number 6 is to focus on yourself. Yeah, maybe you saw this coming, but it is focus on your passion, focus on your dreams, what you love, like maybe your family, friends, because the reason why you also so attach or think of them so much is because maybe you have so much passion for them or love for them, and you give them purpose and meaning. But when you put purpose and meaning in something or someone else, that is how you get over that person. And that's why people are getting over a person, because they're focusing on something else. Because if they're just still focusing on them, putting so much love and passion to them, like sending them all that energy, the person is gonna feel so filled up with that love and energy that they don't feel like they miss you, because you're just using so much power on that. And then you can't get over the person. So it's about changing focus and changing your energy. So I know that sometimes can be hard, because focusing on yourself, honestly, is actually sometimes scary for some. But I actually like focusing on myself, because then I just love to see my shadows, because then I can work on them. I love to look inward. I love to work on myself to become better than I am now. I can always become better. You can always become better. So yeah, that is focusing on yourself and your friends. It doesn't have to be like a new lover to get over the person. You can just focus on friends and your dreams, goals, whatever might be good for you. I hope this video helped you, and I'll just send you so much unconditional love for whatever you're going through, and also especially with this specific person you maybe have trouble to get over. But no matter what, I hope you have an amazing day, week, and month, and year, and incredible, meaningful, purposeful life. And know there is always hope. And yeah, remember to like and peace and subscribe for more. And I'll see you next time.